Good Saturday morning, superstars. My name is Rick Fleshman. I am the general manager in the U.S. for Healy World USA. You've made it to our virtual Super Saturday, more people in attendance than ever before. This is going to be an amazing day. We had a dry run yesterday with the people you see on your screen today, and I saw CJ post about it later in one of the other groups, and he was excited after we got off that dry run. It's just the caliber of people and what we can get out of it. So please put in your mind, get an energy of receiving on your mind today, because you are going to receive some amazing information that's going to help you recharge, realign, renew. And that's the thing. So I'm going to start with a quick story. When I was in the second grade, I was pushing a rock out of my toy room window through a hole in there, standing on a chair. Sound like a good idea? It was a bad idea. My little buddy friend pulled the chair out from under me, thinking he was cute. My finger slipped through out of that thing, and the end of my finger ended up on the outside window ledge of a painted shut window. I'll tell you, going in, the worst part of this was it was baseball season, and you guys know how I love baseball. My dad was the coach, and the minute I saw the blood squirting out, and it was, the first thing I thought is, oh no, I'm not going to be able to play baseball with my dad. And it even chokes me up now. It was so amazing. And my mom grabbed me, and she held my finger under the water till she saw the bone. My dad sped home from work. We rushed me to the hospital. Doctor said, well, where's the rest of the finger? My dad sped back home, got that finger. He had to break one of the panes out on one side and reach through and grab. And there were dogs downstairs looking up who would have probably just promptly taken that somewhere. And he took the rest of my finger to the hospital where they sewed it back on. With no baseball, all I could do, the local merchants were bringing me comic books and candy, and all I could do was lay on a sofa with my finger straight up, and my parents were staying up all night making sure my finger didn't drop down all night for weeks. We went back into the doctor, and that finger was black, and he said, this is not good. He said, I'll give it another week, and then we're just going to have to take the whole thing off. So we went back home, went back the next week. When we unwrapped it then, there were pink dots around the stitches. And the doctor had this wonderful look on his face. We still thought it looked grotesque, but the doctor had a fantastic look on his face, and he said, this is great news. There's pink around the stitches. And he created a mindset of momentum moving forward about what we wanted and said, this is going to get better, and we believed him. And sure enough, a week later, there was more pink, and a week later, it was completely pink and healing. I had to wear this metal thing with gauze around my finger. But the reason I'm telling this story is Healy World USA is in that same spot. We're seeing pink around the stitches. Mm-hmm. We went through a tough time over the last 90 days. Now we're caught up on shipping. We're shipping out in 24 to 48 hours. We're still behind on tickets, but we actually have fewer tickets than Europe has now. It's going down very, very rapidly, and I'm super proud of the customer service team and appreciative of all the CS people around the world helping us with that. We're working on issues with the back office. It's not moving as fast as we want it to, and we know, but there are fewer issues, and I hear about it less. Right now, we have pink around the stitches. What can we do to make that move faster? We can co-create together. Co-create what it is we're wanting and get that energy of momentum going where we want it to go. And that's what I and the mastermind team, that's how we came up with this recharge, renew, and realign idea. We don't need to go out and enroll more people. Of course, if you do, great. We don't need to sell more product. What we need to do is make sure our mind is in the right space to move forward now and get out of the funk that was created, if you allowed it to create, in your own energetic existence. And when we got on the dry run call yesterday, I was blown away when I told the speakers you're about to hear. I was blown away when I said, are you guys in alignment with this? Can you fit it into your message? And there wasn't one person that just wasn't all over it and gave us all a preview that gave us goosebumps. And you're about to get it today, which we got to start with. We're going to start with Brian Biro. That's B-I-R-O. Now, when you Google him, please notice his name is spelled wrong on the flyer. It's B-I-R-O. And that's all Lisa Lothian's fault for giving me that name wrong.
I'll take it, Rick.
She did give it to me wrong. And I also wanted just to blame it on the marketing staff over there who did this beautiful flyer for us. Guess what? It's my fault. And Brian, I am a freak for getting people's names right. Please forgive me, sir. I'm really, really sorry about that. And, but Brian wrote a book. He's written, I think, multiple books, but the most recent one is called the ROI of Kindness. Kind of fits our style, doesn't it? And so that was Lisa's recommendation. And so I want Lisa to just give a quick 1-minute intro. Brian, Lisa, take it away.
Sure. Welcome, everybody. I'm so thrilled we're here at our first Super Saturday. Brian Biro is known as America's Breakthrough Coach because he helps us break through limiting beliefs and patterns to reveal the inner leader that's in each and every one of us. He's delivered over 1,800 presentations around the world in the last 30 years, including more than 300 for network marketing companies, where he helps them with team building and leadership development. He is the author of 15 books, and one is The Ultimate Guide to Network Marketing, as well as his newest gem, The ROI of Kindness, that Rick already mentioned. He was rated #1 from over 40 speakers at 4 consecutive Inc. magazine international conferences. He has degrees from Stanford and UCLA. He's appeared on Good Morning America and CNN, and he was recently honored as one of the top 10 interactive keynote speakers in North America and one of the top 60 motivational speakers in the world. We're thrilled to have his incredible wife, Carol, who is on fire with Healy and our Healy family. And I'm personally looking forward to meeting them both in person soon. So I'm putting out intentions for that in early spring or sooner. So please give a warm Healy welcome to Brian Biro.
Thank you, Lisa. Thank you so much. Yeah, we clap up here. And I know you were toying with me, Rick, with the name because Brio is a set of toys. So I'm cool with that. And I am so excited to be with all of you today. As Lisa said, Healy is very personal for us. My wife, Carol, my incredible wife, Carol, has been completely passionate about health for 40 years, since she was 3. Way to go, hon. And she has never been more on fire, more inspired as she is about the Healy. So it's very personal. We already have some incredible stories about Healy. So that part fired me up. And then talking to Rick, who is building a culture based around kindness and respect. That, as you can see, I wrote a book about kindness. It really grabs my heart. But when we talked about the theme for today, to recharge, renew, and realign, you got me, because that's talking about breaking through. And that's been my whole professional passion. And I'm called America's Breakthrough Coach because I've had right about 1 million people over the last 30 years break through 1-inch thick boards karate style. It is the ultimate breakthrough experience to move beyond fears, obstacles, habits, or doubts. And though I've had 1 million people break boards, they've really only have one breakthrough, because there is only one breakthrough. You break through from fear to love, and that's it. And every time you choose the fear side, you know it. And so today I want to really help you have that breakthrough, because that's what recharging, renewing, and realigning is breaking through those fears. And there are 3 breakthrough tools that we're going to focus on today, all right, that really are your controllables. And success comes when you control your controllables. And that's what we're going to zero in on today. And those 3 breakthrough tools, the first is called vision. All breakthroughs start with vision. You must see it before you can be it. All right? But vision's not enough. It's just the starting place. The second breakthrough tool is called PR. Does not mean public relations, means personal responsibility. If it's to be, it's up to me. If things are to change, I must change. But the third breakthrough tool is the one that gives the juice, the passion, the purpose. And it's called the power of team. And it reveals the best thing about every one of you Healy healers. And that is that every one of you would do more for somebody else than you do for yourself. And that is why if you don't bring a passion for your team with you, you'll fall short of your potential. But when you do, watch out. All right, and so we're going to have fun with these 3 breakthrough tools. And the first is vision. So we're going to start with vision. All right, and this guy right here, I hope you can see him really well. That is my grandson, Augie. Now, Augie is the coolest guy you will ever meet. He lives with that expression on his face, but he's also a madman on that little tricycle. I mean, he goes 5,000 miles an hour. He's so good, even though he's not quite 4 yet, that I know within a year he's going to move up just like you move up in Healy. And he's going to ride a 2-wheeler for the first day. And it's going to be a big day. Mom and dad will be out there. He'll put his hands on those handlebars. He'll put his tongue out for balance. Got to have that tongue out for balance. And they're going to push him, and he's going to start riding, and he's pedaling, and he's doing it. Way to go, Augie. He's riding that bike. Unfortunately, right in front of him on the sidewalk is a great big old rock. What happens? What's Augie look at? The rock. What happens next? Bam, he hits that rock like it's a magnet. He falls over. He scrapes his elbow a little bit. He walks by his dad like he's cool. He goes up to mom and goes, I'm going to die. All right, now, it's 2 weeks later. Same little Augie, same bike, but he's got this bike riding thing down now. He's bopping down the same sidewalk. Boppity, 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 bop. Bigger rock. What happens now? He goes around it. What goes around it first? Not his tire, his eyes, his vision. He sees his way around the rock. Now, obviously, you've had some rocks that have come from incredible success, growing so fast from shipping to back office. All right, but Augie understands the principle that can help that incredible opportunity to renew, to recharge, to realign. He understands the principle that breaks you free. And what it says is, what you focus on is what you create. What you focus on is what you create. Now, this has sometimes been called the law of attraction, but I'm just a real simple guy. Since what you focus on is what you create, here is your big question. What are you focusing on? What are you focusing on? How many of us focus more on worrying about what will go wrong than creating what will go right? How many of us focus more on what we don't want instead of what we do want? How many of us stay focused on the rock when there's so many ways around it? So does it do Augie any good to pretend there's no rock? There's no rock, there's no rock. No, it's worse. He could hurt himself. But what we do is what Augie taught us. We look at the rock, we see where it is, we move our way around it. And so we take charge of the controllable called our vision. So that's step one in renewing and recharging and realigning, is to remember that what you focus on is what you say the word, what you focus on is what you create. All right, so what do we need to focus on to really take our Healy business, to take our lives to a new level? And that's where we take in this second breakthrough tool called PR. And it's, I think, very appropriate that what we want to focus on, I call E-Power. And here's what it says. It says, I live with extraordinary E-Power. And the rule of the game for extraordinary E-Power is to play full out. And E stands for energy.
Yes.
And ladies and gentlemen, you got to think about this right now. You have the most incredible frequency vibrational device that can make an enormous difference. In other words, an energy device. But it's your energy that can transform and change the world, because Healy's energy needs you. All right. And why is energy so important to breaking through, to recharging, renewing, realigning? 2 key reasons. First, it's about seizing the woo, which is the W-O-O. It's really fun to say. So on 3, even though we can't hear you, everybody say woo. Ready? 1, 2, 3, woo. Woo. I like your woo. Now, woo stands for something. Woo stands for window of opportunity. The woo is the window of opportunity. And I want to suggest that we all share the most perfect, vital, magical of all woos right now. And you know what it is? It's every precious moment. Every precious moment is a woo. What do I mean? Well, you never know if the next person you'll meet today, if that person may become your lifelong friend, as you didn't know when you met your lifelong friend. You never know if the next person you meet today may become the most important teammate you ever bring into Healy. You never know. See, the question to you as a breakthrough leader who wants to recharge, reignite, is not, is there a woo? There is. The question you got to ask yourself is, how many of those puppies have I missed? And why do I miss them? Well, the first reason why your energy is so important is energy helps you seize more woos. Simple as that. Have you ever noticed when you have more energy, how much more alert you are to possibility? When you have energy, the rock isn't as big. Adversity doesn't seem so adverse. You see, within every adversity is planted the seed of an equivalent or greater benefit. When you have energy, you look for the benefit. When you don't have energy, you ram into that rock, you get swallowed by the adversity. So the first reason why your energy is so crucial to recharge, to renew, and to realign is energy puts you in position to seize the woo. Second reason, And if you get this one, you got a ton. So I need everybody to sit up a little bit more, bring a little energy up. Why is your energy so important? Well, here's why. To your children, for as long as you draw breath, to your Healy teammates, to all the people you could bring into the Healy family, to anyone you care about, your energy is your example. Your energy is your example. People won't remember that much of what you say, no matter how well you say it. And they'll never forget your energy. They get your energy before you open your mouth, the energy after you've closed your mouth. They get your energy over the phone, they've never seen your face. Hey, they get your energy the way you send an email. Email does not stand for electronic mail, stands for energy mail, for goodness sakes. Everyone we touch, our energy is our example. That is why it is so crucial. If you want to renew, if you want to recharge, if you want to realign and help others do it, you have to learn how to cultivate a higher level of energy by choice instead of chance in every precious woo. Well, how do you do that? Well, the most simple, profound, and easy way to work on your energy, all right, is to go on what I call a 30-day ETP. That's an energy transformation program. And it starts with a context. So I want every one of them, thousands of people on this call right now, I want you to think about your energy for a second on a simple 10-point energy scale. Now, on that scale, 1 is comatose. 10 is a child on Christmas morning. 10 is the way you feel when you just did the best job of your life. It's something you have a passion for. 10 is the way all of those people felt when they broke their boards, and 11 is the way their teammates felt when they broke their boards. So now that we have that context, I'm going to ask you the $1 trillion question. This may be the most important question you've ever been asked. When you think about that 10-point energy scale from 1 to 10, where are you living your life? Whoa, that is a great question. Are you living at level 6? Are you living at level 7? I don't know where you're living. You do. But unless your answer to that question was 99.7, all right, then the next answer is a breakthrough leader who really wants to renew and recharge and help others do so is, how can I elevate that number? Because that number is just your E-habit. It is a comfort zone, which is really a confinement zone. And there are 2 simple ways, in addition to using your Healy, that you can elevate your energy by choice instead of chance. And the first is so simple that we miss it, and here's what it is. From this moment forward, always remember the simple, profound truth. Your energy is created by the way that you move, period. Your energy is created by the way that you move. In other words, anytime you've been at your best, you've been your most dynamic, you've been your kindest, you've been your most creative. You have moved your body in distinctly different ways than when you've not been your best. And specifically your body line and posture, your facial position, your eye position focus, your facial expression, and your breathing. Now, I've said this to some people before, and they go, well, Brian, if I had more energy, I'd move more. Move more, and you'll have more energy. That's where the choice resides. I'll bet you all know somebody who simply amazes you, because at a very advanced age, that individual has this incredible energy. And though I don't know who you're thinking about specifically, I bet I know 2 things about them. Number 1, they're one of your heroes. They're a great example in your life. Number 2, they keep moving. We don't get older, we just stop moving. I'm actually 92 years old, but I just keep moving. I can't even sit still for Zoom, for goodness sakes. All right. So what does this mean in practical terms? It means if you want to move your life, you've got to move yourself. If you want to move others to reignite, you want them to renew, recharge, and realign, you've got to move yourself and go on the ETP, and for 30 days, elevate your physical movement. Never sit at your computer for more than 30 minutes without standing up for a second, raising your arms up high, all right, putting a smile on your face, taking a rich, deep breath. Do a woo clap. That's yes, 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 woo, yes. All right, and I know it sounds crazy, but if you do it for a month, you'll never go back. So step 1, change the way you move, and you'll start on the path to elevating your energy on a 10-point scale. The second one is even more profound. It is the unstoppable source of energy. And always remember this truth. Your energy is 100% attached to your level of purpose. Whenever you're full of purpose, you're full of energy. When my wife, Carol, talks about her Healy, she is on fire. But when you lose sight of your purpose, you lose sight of your energy. I bring this photo with me to every seminar that I go to. It is a photo of my family. I love them more than life itself. They are my purpose. And as beautiful as these 6 people are, I don't bring this with me to show you. I bring it with me to show me. That's why I bring it. And the last thing I do before I speak, as I did just now, is I go to that purpose. I go to my family and I fill up with the highest vibrational of all emotions called gratitude. And it instantly changes me. I think of the moments we've had, the moments we're going to have, and it changes me. It doesn't matter if my knees ache. All that matters when I zero in on my purpose is that if I don't give them my best, I'm not giving you my best, and vice versa. So how do you do it? How do you focus on elevating that level of purpose? Well, on our ETP, Energy Transformation Program, for the next 30 days, start every day with the highest vibration and frequency. Start with gratitude. Ask this question: what am I deeply grateful about in my life? What you're grateful about will focus you on your priorities. Your priorities always, always lead to purpose. So as you move from 6.3 to 7.5 to 8.2 to 9.4, your Healy business will rise. You will renew, you will realign, you will reignite, you will recharge, and you'll help others do it. When you get above 9.0, you will be easy to impress and incredibly hard to offend. And that is a remarkable way to live a great life and be a breakthrough leader. So the third breakthrough tool, we're almost there. It is probably the most important one of all. And it's the power of team. How do we build people, build teams, build relationships? And it's so crucial at Healy, because what I love about network marketing and Healy is your success depends on helping others succeed. Your recharging, renewing, realigning is vital to helping others do the same. So how do you do that at a foundational, unshakable level? Well, it's so important that I call this last one the gift. And what it says is, look at all the stuff you're not getting today. It says, I am fully present. I am fully present. What does that mean? Okay. When you're fully present, 100% of your mind, body, and spirit is with the person you're with where they are now. Now, how many ever been with somebody where you know their body's there, but the rest of them is definitely in another county? Yeah. So how does it make you feel when someone you wish to be fully present with you is not fully present with you? When somebody you really want to connect with is much more interested in peeking at their cell phone instead of really listening. For some people, it makes them angry. For some, it just makes them sad. But for every human being I've ever known, when there's somebody we want to be fully present with us and they're not fully present with us, it makes us feel worth less. It makes us feel insignificant and unimportant. And here's the gig, Healy Healers. Here's your job. You want to recharge, you want to renew, you want to realign. Here's our jobs as breakthrough leaders. Our job is to help the people that we lead, serve, and love to know they're important, to know they're significant. Well, because when people feel important, they rise. And when people feel unimportant, they fall, they leave, they quit. Now, I want you to get this at a deeper level. I know you got it in your head, but there's an 18-inch journey we got to take, and that's to your heart, because that's where it really works. And the greatest gift I've ever given was given to me by two of my most incredible teachers, my daughters, Kelsey and Jenna, way back when they were 8 and 3, and they looked kind of like that. And when they were 8 and 3, we had moved from the big city of Seattle to a little town in western Montana called Hamilton, Montana. And the reason we moved was so that I would be a more fully present dad. See, at that time, my speaking business had taken off. I was on the road all the time. All right, and so we moved so that when I was home, my office being my home, I would be there. I'd wake them up for get them ready for school. I'd be there when school was over, help them with their homework, take them to dance practice. We'd have family dinners with the 4 of us, and I'd tuck them in at night, read them a story, be present with them, let them know how incredible they are. But have you ever known what to do but not done what you know? And at that time, it's hard to think of it, but in those days, we didn't have much email. We had no social media. Everything in business was done on the phone. And so the next thing you know, every morning I'd be in my office before 5 in the morning. Next thing I know, I had totally missed getting them ready for school because I was caught up in a bunch of calls. Same thing happened after school. I'd be on a conference call, couldn't get away. Those family dinners, they were only 75% because I wasn't there, but I was going to be present. And the most precious of all was to tuck them in at night, to be there, to be that dad I wanted to be. But every night as I went on my way to do that, I made a big mistake. I walked by my office and I looked on my desk. And you know what I saw there? I saw that phone. And I knew that in the short time that I'd run down to get a bite to eat and come back up, I would have at least 5, maybe 10 voicemails. And so I got this idea. Hey, while they brush their teeth, while they're putting their jammies on, washing up. I'll just knock off a few of these voicemails so I don't have so many in the morning. Well, you know what happened. An hour later, I put the phone down. I walk into their room that was now dark. They had bunk beds. I'd give them each a kiss they didn't know they got. And I'd walk out and felt like somebody just punched me in my stomach. And I'd think to myself, tomorrow, I'll be that dad. Tomorrow, I'll be present. But the next day, the phone was there, and this went on for days. It rolled into weeks that turned into months. Until one night, I was literally reaching for the phone. When talk about vibration frequency, I felt my daughters at the door. I couldn't see them. I turned, and there they were. And they ran to me. And Jenna was only 3 at the time, so she crawled up in my lap, got her head under my hand, pet me. Kelsey came up, put her arm around me. And I looked at them, and I said, girls, this is so cool. What are you doing? And they said, Daddy, before we go to sleep, can we just ask you something? And I said, sure, anything. And they grabbed my heart, and they shook it, and they changed everything. And they gave me a compelling why that has never left me. And they looked at me simply and honestly and said, Daddy, we just want to know, do you love your phone more than you love us? Oh, I felt the blade go in. Emerson said, what you do screams so loudly, I can't hear a word you're saying. I was living my life as if my phone was a bigger priority, was more important than my daughters. Well, I will tell you, I tucked them in that night, and I never missed another night when I was home. The next morning, I was the one who got him up, made him breakfast, took him to school, and Carol was so happy because she doesn't love the mornings. That next day, and I never missed another morning, that next day, I changed the way I did my calendar. It started with them. I would never do more than 7 events a month. I don't care what you pay me. I won't do it. I never missed one of their dance performances. I never missed one of their big school events. I never missed a single daddy and daughter dance. And I thought I was doing it for them. Do you know that every dimension of our life exploded and rose with the decision to be more fully present? You don't get less done being fully present. You get more done because you're fully there with that full energy. No coincidence. None of my 15 books got done until my focus became, I am going to be fully present. So I like to bring this one alive as we wrap up with a poem that really gets at the heart of recharge, renew, and realign. And it also really pulls out the power of being fully present. And it simply says this. It says, the past is history, the future a mystery. The gift is now. That's why we call it the present. Give me a woo on that one. Woo. Woo. And I want to end by having you look at this incredible word, 3 letters, N-O-W, now. You know, every day on our Healy journey, our life journey, we get to the same Y in the road. It really should be a W because it's a woo. And on that Y, every day, we get the same place. One side says, as soon as. The other says, now. And I got to tell you, as soon as looks easier. It's well lit, it's well paved, it's nice and straight. Now is a little curvy. The lights are out, it's got some ruts in it. But let me put it to you straight and forever. If you choose the road called as soon as, it's a direct road to never. Choose the now. So now, if you've been focusing on the rock, learn from Augie, make your way around it. Because when you're on the rock, you're in the past and the opportunities in the now. If your energy's been at only level 6 or level 7, don't just depend upon a Healy to elevate it. That's a tool, that's with you. But elevate by changing the way you move and focusing on purpose. And most of all, if you want to recharge, you want to renew, you want to realign, but you don't want it to stop with you, you want it to start with you. Then give everyone that you can the greatest gift of all, be fully present. I wish you all such incredible joy, so many breakthroughs. May the wind be at your back. All right, welcome back to Rick. I love your focus on kindness. Thank you so much. Even if you did get my name wrong.
And what's your website that people can find you, Brian?
It's real simple. It's brianbiro.com. BrianBiro. And I just
I'll
am so
announce
excited
again, I'm
about
really sorry.
you.
Okay, thank you. I'm really sorry about that. If you just joined us late, I said I'm a freak for getting people's names right, and we screwed that one up on the flyer. It's not B-R-I-O, it's B-I-R-O, Brian Biro. So brianbiro.com. Go find him. And Brian, all I can say is, wow, that so fit the energy that we're looking for today. Look at everybody nodding their heads in approval and appreciation. So Okay. Well, Doc Steve has a special guest with us that we've heard from before, but this guy is an absolute, just amazing presence in our company. We're so lucky to have him as a leader. And Doc Steve, I won't steal any thunder. You just introduced CJ the way you had it figured out. Rock on, sir.
Thanks, Rick. Well, it's a pleasure to be here today, and
absolutely
honor and a pleasure to introduce our next speaker that many of you may have already met. It's our Senior Director, Chrisjan Peters. I met CJ back in November. I was lucky to have it be that he is my sponsor and my mentor. So it's with great pleasure that we have him today. CJ was born and raised in the hospitality business. He studied architecture and went on to start his own architectural firm and real estate development company. He had 22 employees, but was working 80 to 90 hours per week. In 2008, he started looking to find an alternative to the daily grind and discovered network marketing. 12 years later, he built successful organizations in 27 countries around the world, reaching the highest ranks. He's been involved with Healy since February 2019 with more than 15,000 personal members. He's also one of our best trainers and teachers in Healy. Take it away, CJ.
Wow, thank you, Doc Steve, for the introduction. And I'm so honored to be on this call today because next to Frank Dyler from the company, I guess I'm the only non-American on this on this call. So I'm really appreciative of that. And I try to bring value to everybody here on the call. We're almost with 2,000 people here on this call. So that's really amazing. Guys, you are rocking it out of the ballpark. And in the theme of today, renew, recharge, and realign, I thought of sharing with you a breakthrough moment that I had myself in network marketing. Because my start in network marketing was a little bit rough. The first 3 years, I had no volume, I had no people, I had no income. And the reason was I was not willing to listen. I wanted to do everything my way, and I thought everything could be done better, it could be done different. And that's how I acted, but I had no result. So at one point, you cannot hold up that attitude anymore. So through another, bad situation, 2011, we had a financial crisis. My situation changed. I could not pay my bills anymore. So I had either to go bankrupt, like Doc said, with my two companies, or started listening to people who are very successful in network marketing, and they gave me some valuable tips. And since we are now in a crisis situation due to the whole Corona, COVID, whatever you like to call it, many people are in a similar situation, I think, than I was back then. So I'm trying to give you some value with my breakthroughs that I had at that time. And I learned that there basically is a way how you can capture people's interest. And the way to do that is not to talk about yourself, but to be sincerely interested in the other person. And if you can find a way to satisfy a need or a want of that person will listen to you and you will have a companion for life. So I discovered that there are basically 4 needs that people either need or want or desire in life. And the first one is more money. I think that's obvious. We're not talking about that so much because for some people that's still a little bit of a taboo. But what would mean an extra $500 to $1,000 mean to the average household in the United States? Would that be life-changing? Would that mean that extra bicycle for the kid? Would that mean that extra vacation? Would that mean a little bit of a scholarship for one of the children? So I think that would change people's life. The second thing I discovered is that people either need or want or desire more time. Because there are people that feel that they have enough money. That was me. Back then I had far above income. But like Doc said, I was working 80 to 90 hours, so I never had time for family, hobbies whatsoever. And, when you're young, that's okay. You think, oh, we're going to make it. And, you have ambition. That's all good. But not that I'm that old, but when you do that for a certain period, you start thinking, is this all there is in life? So I wanted more time. So my reason to start in network marketing was not to make more money. My reason to start in network marketing was to create more time. A third reason why people or basic need or want of person is recognition. Very important one. People don't generally leave their job because they feel they get paid too little. They leave a job because they feel they are not recognized enough. So people are looking for that pat on the shoulder that somebody says, you did well, thank you. Instead of, we need to do more, the targets are not okay, let's hit it harder and harder and harder. We need to do more and more and more. So recognition is a very important part for a lot of people. And that's what we do in network marketing, recognition. I'm from Europe, and when we do that, people in Europe say, well, that's so American. But yet, I never saw anybody walk on stage getting whatever, a new pin, a new rank, or even flowers that came off the stage and said, well, they did that, but I don't care. Everybody loves recognition. Everybody. And the fourth thing that we generally need or want or desire in life has something to do with health. And now here's the breakthrough moment. When I choose my lead in, when I go talk to people and I ask the questions, I'm sincerely interested in them, not in me or my opportunity or my products, but I'm sincerely interested in them. And through questions, which are very, very simple to do, we don't have enough time to go all through of that here, but you can imagine them yourself. But if I talk to people and I found out that the need, the want, or desire of the person is more money, should I offer in the product first, or should I offer in the business opportunity first? I think everybody, all 2,000 of you, will agree with me that we should offer the business first, right? That would probably be more effective. If I found out through my asking and my talking to that person that the need, the want, or desire is time, can I create more time for that person with the product or with the business opportunity? Probably business, right? If I found out that that person has money enough, time enough, but recognition is the issue, where can I give that person more recognition with the product or in the business opportunity? Again, business, right? So if I find out that there is a health issue, somebody sleeps bad, has a pain, or whatever health issue a person can have, would it be better to offer the product or the business? I think everybody will agree it will be product. So here's my breakthrough moment. I learned that in network marketing, in probably 75% of the time or more, it's more effective to use your business opportunity as a lead in than it is to use your product. Because with the product, we have amazing product. We have probably, and I'm not ashamed to say so, we have probably the best product in the network marketing space today. There is no product that even comes close. We have a 96% customer satisfaction, unheard of. But still, with the product alone, we will reach a certain percentage of people. So if we can do the paradigm shift and we change it from focusing on the product to focusing on my prospect, you will see an enormous growth in your business. And that's why in my presentations, I always say, give people reasons why. Brian talked also about why. Amazing presentation. Thank you, Brian, for that. So give people reasons why they could start in network marketing. And first reason I always say is the product, because up and foremost, that's the product. But it's not only the product. What about creating multiple streams of income? Because nowadays, if you have one stream of income, I always say, and I don't want to offend anybody, but it's like playing Russian roulette. Because if that one stream of income is taken away from you, how long does it take before you get into financial troubles? And is it unlikely that one stream of income via your job or the business that you have is taken away from you? Well, ask tens and tens of million people in the United States alone if this can happen, yes or no. So creating multiple streams of income creates a better financial security and stability situation for you and your family. That's one reason. Another reason is to create what we call residual income. That's a difficult word. Most people don't know that word, so I say Google it. But residual income means that you do an activity once and you get paid for a longer period of time over that one-time activity versus what most people know as an active income in a job. You know, you do an activity once, you get paid once. But if the money is gone, you have no money anymore. So you have to do the activity again and then you get paid again. But what if you cannot do that activity again because you lost your job, you lost your business? That's a problem, right? So if I can help a person achieve whatever goal that person has in the network marketing space, and after I teach that person to become independently working from me, that means I have to do and I have to bring an effort first. I have to help that person first. But if I bring that person up to a level where he can be independent, then I get paid a certain percentage according to the compensation plan on whatever volume that person does in the future. So if I don't help that person the right way and I make that person independently, but he does no volume, what do I earn? Well, nothing. So that was a waste of time. So I cannot afford that, to waste my time like that. And I think nobody can afford to waste their time like that. So that's the equal part in network marketing, that we need each other. You know, some people have a certain image of network marketing, but network marketing is the most fair and the most social business model on planet Earth today. End of discussion. So with that residual income, I can create a monthly growing income on a monthly growing number of people. How is that in your job? How is that in your traditional business? Can you do that? No. I know, because I had such a traditional business. I had two of them. So, and I was trying, and I was earning decent money. So no problem there. But the time part, because to create balance, you need health, time, and money. So if you put in too much time, you know, it can go also working on the health part, right? Stress, burnout, all that kind of stuff. So everybody understands that part. Then another reason and the value of network marketing is that you can create a sole legacy income, an income for generations to come after you. Because if you build a team with, I don't know, 500, 1,000, whatever number of people, and something bad happens to you, and that can happen, we cannot exclude it, you die, and you build it right, and you are with the right company, what happens when you die? Well, the people in your team will still continue to bring the volume every month. So therefore, the payout on that volume will still be there every month, just not to you, because you're not there anymore. But if we organized it right, you can say to the company, pay it to my wife, pay it to my husband, pay it to my children, pay it to my grandchildren, pay it to my dog. The company basically doesn't care. As long as the dog has a bank account, we're all good. So that's a true value. We know all the giants in the industry, like Herbalife, like Avon, like Mary Kay, like Nu Skin, all the big giants in this company, in this industry. Some people every month now get a 5-digit, 6-digit, or 7-digit check from those companies for somebody that somebody 40, 50 years ago did something right for them, their grandmother, their grandfather, whatever it was. So wouldn't it be a neat idea that you can build something now, not to survive and pay the bills, but to create a lifestyle that you desire? And if something happens to you, that you know that your spouse, your children, your grandchildren are financially taken care of for generations to come. Can you find anybody in the United States that would say no to that? That would be pretty brutal. So talk about that as well, because there is a need and certainly a want in the United States, the land of opportunity, right? The land where you can make everything happen that you want. That's what I understand from the United States as a guy from Europe. So talk about that with people, because more people will listen to you if you bring that message too, in addition to the product, instead of only the product. And the last thing is the good news. You don't have to die. So I want to end with a bang. You don't have to die. So if you do it when you are alive and you have a certain level of income, you can also do a step back. You have an income where you can live the lifestyle that you desire, whatever that is. For every person, that will be different. You know, some people can live with $2,000 a month. I would not know how, but some people can do that. And other people don't have enough with $50,000 a month. So that's up to you, whatever kind of lifestyle you desire. But if you are at that level and you do a step back, you still have that team, right? So you still have that volume coming in. So still the payout will take place. So I call that retirement money, an extra retirement fund. Okay, question again. How many people in the United States of America could either need, want, or desire an extra retirement fund? Well, I give you the answer. About 98% of the people. The 2% of the people, they don't care. They are so wealthy, they don't care. But the other 98%, they either need, want, or desire it. So you can offer them an extra retirement fund so they can determine when they want to go into retirement, and not the government determines when you go into retirement, whether that's 65 or 67 or whatever age it is. I don't want my government to determine when I go into retirement. No way on earth. I don't want that. So I have to take care of myself, because if I let it on to other people to decide for me, you know, I'm like a ball in a flipper, how you call it, in a ping pong, whatever the name is. I don't know in English. But that's the essence, and I want people to talk about that, because that's part of lifestyle. So let's promote Healy not only as an amazing product in the health space, but let's promote Healy as a way to create lifestyle. Whatever that lifestyle looks for you, you know, I cannot have a judgment on what your lifestyle looks like. You cannot have a judgment on my lifestyle. It's my life. But let's promote Healy out there to more people who have a need or a desire. And it's easy to find out. Just ask the people the right questions. Because if you do so, they give you all the reasons why they should start network marketing. And currently, I'm convinced of that, there is no better opportunity in the network marketing space than Healy. Yes, we are a startup company. Yes, we had some struggles. Everybody knows that. But that's why this call is named Renew, Recharge, and Realign. You know, you only should look back to see how far you've come. That's the only reason why you should look back. So with that being said, I hope I brought some extra value to this amazing event here with, you know, the 2,000 people that are on this. This is really, really cool. So I'm happy to give the word back to Rick. Rick, take it on.
Thank you so much, CJ. Every time I hear you speak, I'm reminded about the nuts and bolts of network marketing and what we all need to do. It's like this stuff we already know if you're in the industry, yet we've kind of forgotten it maybe and moved on. So, wow, thank you. That's a second wow. And we have 2 more to go, 3 more with Frank also. So thank you, sir. Thank you very much for being a part of this. You're an amazing upline leader, and we're really grateful to have you, man. Jim Britt is a super accomplished author in the space of network marketing, among other things. He's a self-made millionaire in the industry. He's one of those Facebook friends I didn't really know until I met him in Miami at that big first Healy meeting we had, and he gave me the copies of the 2 of his over 20 books. These things are gems, you guys. Get the books, find them, because They're really great. One of them is also a nuts and bolts about how to get going in network marketing. The other one will kind of realign you with who you really are, which is a really neat story, Rings of Truth. But I don't want to steal Terry's thunder. Terry, introduce Jim Britt. Britt, you've known him a lot longer than me.
Well, Jim is a mentor. He's my mentor, and I'm just so grateful. And I can tell you, he's done so many things, but I bet you guys didn't know that he has started 28 successful business ventures. And I bet you didn't know that he is a strategist, a success strategist for over 300 companies. That's pretty profound, but this is something that I bet a lot of you didn't know about Jim. He was actually Jim Rohn's mentor. He actually worked with Jim Rohn, and it was back in the day with, Tony Robbins when they were first getting started. So you guys just don't know. I mean, we have so many profound people on this call, but I can tell you he's been at this for 43 years, Jim has. And he's actually in the process of making a movie, by the way, with the Rings of Truth. So we're just thrilled. And he's done so many things. I can just tell you, a lot of you probably know Jim on this call and have probably seen his training courses or been to them. But the biggest thing I can tell you is Jim will never let you down. And we're so excited to hear what you have to say, Jim. So I'm taking it away. To you. Here you go.
All right. Thanks, Terry. I appreciate that. Yeah. So, Brian, it's good to see you. Thanks for your comments there. It's been a long time since we've connected. It's great to see you here. Just thinking back to my first experience with network marketing, and I've been in the network marketing field for 45 years, my training field for 43 years. But my first experience in network marketing wasn't that great, my first year anyway. My only training that I had was from a fellow doing a meeting one night, and he said, your job is talking to people. He said, if you talk a little, you'll learn a little. If you talk a lot, you'll learn a lot. So I asked him later, I said, what's a little? He said, 1 a day. I said, what's a lot? He said, 10 a day. I said, I'll do the 10. So I went out for the next year and talked to a minimum of 10 people every single day. And at the end of that year, I had over 3,650 people that told me no. So I recruited nobody. I sold a little bit of product that I had, but not much. And I didn't know what to do, but I knew I was not going to give up. Now, I was in a pretty precarious situation. I had a family, a wife and a child. I had a home that had been foreclosed. I had a notice on my door from the sheriff saying you got to be out in 5 days. I had both of my vehicles had been repoed. All of my furniture had been repoed, and I had 15 cents in my pocket. But I knew I was not going to give up. And I could have gone back and gotten my job at the factory on the assembly line, but I just could not retreat. And I get a knock at the door, and I figured it was probably another bill collector or something, but I had nothing else for them to take. So I opened the door, and it was a fellow from the company. And long story short, he came in, spent 2 hours with me, taught me what I was doing wrong and what I needed to be doing. And my business took off like a rocket. I mean, that 2 hours of mentoring and coaching for me was amazing. One of the things that he taught me, he said, how do you know if you have a good prospect? And I said, I guess if they buy from you. And he said, no, how do you know if they're even a potential buyer? And I said, I don't know. He said, well, obviously you don't know. He said, you got to arrive at 3 destinations. He said, do they have a pain or a problem? He said, if they do, then that's one step. Number 2, he said, do they want to solve it? And he said, if they don't want to solve it, you don't have a prospect. And number 3 is, can you solve it? And he said, well, how would you know those 3 things? And I said, I don't know that either. And he said, yeah, you've been out there flapping your jaws for about a year and with no success. He said, you got to learn to ask questions and listen. And I've really applied that, and always think about what you can do to help that person. Doesn't matter if you're talking about your business or just a personal conversation on an airplane or somebody you meet at a party or whoever it might be. So I want to give you some things here I've learned over the years. Not specifically about network marketing, but it certainly applies to this business as well as any business or any area of your life. And to me, they all interconnect. Personal, business, financial, health, all of these things connect. So a question for you. How would you rate your performance personally and financially up to now? How would you rate that? Is it good? Is it average? Is it incredible? I would encourage you to take a look at your last 5 years. And the question is, in the last 5 years, have you truly made progress? Are the last 5 years what you wanted? And are they where you are today? Is it where you thought you would be 5 years ago? Because until you identify certain aspects that need changing, nothing changes. So you got to identify those. And we identify some as we go along in little incremental steps, but also sometimes we're caught up in, we try to move forward and something stops us and we move backwards. And we try to move forward again in certain areas and then we go backwards. Let me ask you another question. How many of you are addicted to drugs? Now, I could probably answer that for you. Probably you're saying, of course not, I'm not. But I want to make a point here. This is something I discovered probably about 35 years ago. And I was contemplating one day why 90% of people in business, not only in business, but people fail at what they attempt to do in their life. Whether it's setting a New Year's resolution to lose weight, and 2 weeks later, they're sitting on the sofa eating potato chips and watching TV. So it bothered me. So I started looking at the habit patterns that we have as human beings, and we all have them, positive habit patterns that would be very difficult to live our lives without, like walking or talking or maybe driving a vehicle is a good example. So it'd be difficult to, go out and get in your vehicle and say, well, how do I drive this thing? So we learn it, becomes second nature. I asked a fellow the other day, I said, which foot or leg do you put into your pants first when you put your pants on in the morning? He goes, I don't know. And I said, well, you'll look at it tomorrow morning and realize if you try to switch, it's going to be difficult because we get into those habit patterns. So then I switched to the other side. And I thought, if we have positive habit patterns that become second nature, we also have the negative ones that become second nature. And that to me was a turning point in my life. I mean, total turning point. We're trying to, as human beings, and we all have these habit patterns to one degree or another in certain areas of our life. So nobody's excluded. Otherwise, we'd all be in the Caribbean someplace, cruising on our 97-foot yacht with our private plane taking us there. But we all have them to some degree or another. But it's like a self-imposed prison that we've created through our programming. So we get programmed, our subconscious get programmed, and we stay stuck in that program, but we're always trying to break out, but we don't know what we're trying to break out of. So we're in a prison, we're trying to break out, we don't know we're in it, and we don't know what we're trying to break out of. That's why it's so difficult. It's like a guy I talked to a while back, he said, I haven't been able to pay my bills on time or fully for 25 years. And I went, wow. I said, what are you going to do about that? And he said, well, I'm kind of considering cutting my overhead. And I said, well, there's nothing wrong with that. I can tell you right now, in 2, maybe 3 months at the outside, you'll be back not being able to pay your bills on time or fully. And he said, well, how do you know that? And I said, because you're addicted to it. Just like being addicted to a drug, because it's that programming that we have. So could somebody be addicted to being broke? The answer is yes. Could somebody be addicted to being in an abusive relationship? The answer is yes. Could they be addicted to being overweight, lack of confidence, low self-esteem, unsuccessful? And the answer is yes. So we all have these addictive behaviors, and it's the way they got created is, I call it an addictive cycle that we're trying to get out of. And it's self-reinforcing every time we try to break free of it and fail. So this addictive cycle goes something like this. We have an experience in our life. Maybe it's, well, it could be anything. When you're a child, maybe you feel abandoned, or maybe somebody talked down to you, or maybe your parents got divorced and you felt like it was your fault. Whatever it might be, we have an experience. And with that experience, we attach a feeling to it. Every experience we have, we attach a feeling to it, positive or negative. And then as we start to feel that way, and let's say it's a negative experience that we've had, as we start to feel that way, we start to think that that's the way life is. And we don't really want to think that way or feel that way, so we start to suppress it and kind of, think positive, which does very little when you think about it. So the more we think that way, though, the more we start to believe that that's the way life is. Now, a belief influences our behaviors, and our behaviors, or the actions we take, create a result. And the result we produce feeds the original experience again. So if we try to break free of something and fail, then that's the result we produce, which feeds that experience. So human beings will go to almost any extreme to prove to themselves and the outside world what they believe to be true is true, even to their detriment. So it's like, if you Google, I tried this the other day, if you Google making money, you'll get over 3 billion files in 0.25 seconds. And if you Google happiness, you'll get over 3 billion files in about the same length of time. But do you read all of those files if you Google something? No, usually go for the first page, maybe the second. Well, based on your experiences and that self-imposed prison that we've created for ourselves, when we Google our brain and we say, I want to make more money, or I want to get out of this abusive relationship, or whatever it might be that we're striving to accomplish. I want to lose weight. I want to get healthy. I want to start working out, whatever it is. Our Google pops up. We just Googled that. And the top 10 experiences we've had are right there on our front page. And if they're mostly negative, it's already taken you off course and you don't even know it. And it happened in 0.25 seconds, just like that. So the question is, how do we break free of that addictive cycle? And here's the way you do it. There's several steps. I'm going to go through them quickly. This is usually something I'd spend 2 days on, so I'm going to give it to you really fast. Number one is a desire to change. You've got to want to change, and nobody can produce that for you. Without that, nothing happens. And you could probably go out on the street corner and ask 1,000 people if they wanted to earn more money, and 1,000 people would say yes. Or 1,000 people want to be healthy, same thing. So most people have a desire. But the next step is what stops them. And that's making the decision to change, because that decision is the foundation for what happens in your life. And I'm not talking about setting a goal to change. Goals are actually pretty useless unless they're based upon a decision that you've made. So a goal, to me, is the incremental steps to getting to the end result of the decision you've set for yourself. But the decision determines how you show up as a human being. It determines how you show up to your prospects. It determines how you show up to the world. And it determines how the world shows up to support you. So when you change your decision, your mindset changes and your view of the world changes and your circumstance change and people around you start to change or they go away, one or the other. Number two, that's number two, decision. You got to, and look at decision this way too. You can't have two decisions in one. In other words, you can't say, well, I'm going to be healthy, but I'm going to eat McDonald's every day at lunch. You can't do that. Now, you do. It's okay if you do. That's your choice. What I'm saying is you can't make a decision to be healthy and eat unhealthy foods. You can't make a decision to make more money and spend all day on Facebook scrolling through and liking things. You just can't do it. So the question is the action I'm taking actually moving me toward what I want or not? Because we live in a black and white world. We don't live in a gray world. say, well, these potato chips are okay, for you if you don't eat too many of them. Well, it's either good for you or bad for you, if you want to be healthy. So it's that way with anything, any decision you've made in your life. So the third step is you got to take action, and you got to take action daily. Talking to 10 people one day and none for the next week is not consistency. So especially in our type of business, it's getting up and taking action daily. Doesn't mean you got to spend 12 hours doing it. It just means you've got to set aside some time to take action every single day. And I agree with Brian. You got to have that balance in your life. And I've done the same thing. I've raised 6 sons, my wife and I I don't think I missed a baseball game or a soccer game. And I traveled all over the world in the last 43 years. But you got to take action. And then the fourth thing, especially here in the business of network marketing, is you got to be bold. You got to be bold. You got to put yourself in the spotlight. Back when I first started that first year, I'm telling you, it was, I would do things that was crazy. I mean, if I ran out of somebody to talk to, I'd dial a wrong number and get into a conversation. In fact, I did one time in not one time, many times I dial wrong numbers just to find somebody on the phone. And my record was 7 minutes to a wrong number. But I've gone door to door recruiting, knocking on doors down the street. I mean, I don't recommend it, but I tried everything because I was bold and I wanted to be successful in that business. So you got to put yourself in the spotlight is the point I'm trying to make. And number 5, you've got to be willing to experience some change. And you've got to be willing to experience some pain along with that change because it's painful. I've been speaking for 43 years. The first year, terrified, absolutely terrified to get in front of a group, but I did it anyway. And I pushed myself and I pushed myself. And it wasn't until I was probably maybe in front of 100,000 or more people before that fear went away. But it was painful every single time I got up. But I was willing to endure the pain to get to the other side of what I wanted to do. So you got to be willing to experience that pain. And number 6, you got to be willing to let go. You got to be willing to let go because when you let go, that breaks the cycle. See, when you catch yourself, and saying letting go is a simple thing to say, but self-observation is critical to letting go. So it's not self-awareness. You can be aware that you're broke. You can be aware that you're fearful. You can be aware that you're experiencing rejection or whatever it might be. You're in an argument, but separating yourself from that is the first step to letting go. Backing away and going, oh, here I am starting an argument again. Here I am thinking that this person's going to reject me, so I'm afraid to pick up the phone and make the call. You see, self-observation is 50% of letting go, at least. In fact, I would challenge you to observe yourself feeling anything less than loving and continue to feel that way because you'll see the falsehood of it. You'll see that it's not real. You'll see that those fears that you have are made up in your mind and you start to see them as real. So the ability to let go and break that addictive cycle, and you can enter anywhere in that cycle to break it. But that's the first step is you got to be willing to let go of the things that's not taking you in the direction you want to go. Let go of your need to control things that are beyond your control. And number 7 is don't quit. Don't quit. I mentioned at the end of my first year that I had spoken to over 3,650 people and lost everything. I learned a lot from that 2 hours sitting with that mentor. In my second year, I earned almost $1 million. And here's one thing I learned is that there's 3 things your prospect doesn't really care about. When a new prospect, it may not be somebody you know, but I'm saying a new cold prospect that you just met. There's 3 things they don't care about. They don't care about your product, they don't care about the opportunity, and they don't care about you. That's where you start. So the key thing is they have to buy you first. And when you ask questions and listen with the intent to understand that person, not just what they're saying, but look behind that and really, really understand them, that they'll start to care about you. So, we've got, we're giving away a bunch of stuff here. And I don't think I mentioned this to Terry, but I'd like to make everybody a winner here on the call. I'm giving away some other stuff. I'll let you talk about that. But I decided too that I have a book called Cracking the Network Marketing Code, a program actually it's on my website, jimbritt.com/books. And if you'll enter in this code network, you'll get it for free. So download that book for free. It's a network marketing book, 330 pages. I wrote years ago, and I've updated it a couple of times. And also my book, Rings of Truth, that Terry mentioned. If you'll, on that same page, look up Rings of Truth and enter the code RINGS, RINGS, and you'll get that one for free as well. So you can download both of those books, because I want everybody to be a winner here. So, in closing, when you look at what you want to accomplish here and using your imagination to get there, Brian mentioned it, called it vision. Same thing. You're the human is the only species on the planet that we know of anyway, that maybe Bigfoot has it, but we're the only one that knows or that has an imagination. The ability to plan ahead, the ability to see our future, the ability to think about what we're going to do tomorrow. Animals don't have it. They have an instinct, but they don't have an imagination. Bears don't have it. Dogs don't have it. But everything that you have in your life right now, you imagined yourself having it. Think about that. Everything you have, you imagined yourself having it. So if you want something different, you've got to change your imagination. And I'm proof of it. I'm a high school dropout. I started picking cotton when I was 6 years old until I was about 12 or 13. My only two jobs I had was working in a factory on an assembly line and working in a gas station pumping gas. And network marketing to me is one of the greatest opportunities for the average person out there that doesn't have a lot of money to invest. And it's a way to build something for your future and for your family, and not have to be a slave to or fit into somebody else's goals and dreams, basically. So use your imagination to create what you want. And I'll leave you with one of my favorite quotes that I wrote many years ago. Brian mentioned that I have a choice between love and fear. The interesting thing is that love is presenting you with the fear, saying, if you let go of this, you'll have more of me. So I wrote a quote. It's called, if you do what you do with love, you'll eventually have only what you love in your life. Thanks so much for having me here. I really enjoyed the presentation so far.
Okay, thank you, Jim. Great job. God, I relate to that addiction. I was below broke 16 years ago. I'm embarrassed to say I had over $100,000 in credit card debt. I was at the workshop of one of my philosophers. You guys know who it is. And I actually said the words, she said, "Are you saving anything?" And I said, "Yeah, but I keep having to deplete it. I put extra money in my emergency fund." And she said, "Well, there's the problem. What are you creating if you have an emergency fund? Just rename it and you'll get out of debt." And I did, and I got out of debt. I got out of $100,000 in credit card debt in 1 year. Not only because of that, I also read the Dave Ramsey book, which was so great about it. What's the name of that? Total Money Makeover. So yeah, what are you addicted to, Jim? That hit home. Thank you. Thank you for that, sir. So moving ahead to our next speaker, I chose those, by the way. If you look at the flyer, everything's in alphabetical order. How do you put these guys in order? In any kind of order, right? So I'm really excited about this next one. I've heard so much about Russ DeVan, and Ken is a big fan of his and brought him to the table. And so Ken, let's have an intro for Russ, and then Russ can take it away. Got it. We can't hear you, sir.
There we go. All right. Thanks, Rick. I appreciate that. And I'm glad you are the one saying those names and not me. I would have been like you and picked the easy ones. but man, how do you put these guys in order? I think they're all number one. So thanks a lot, guys. I appreciate that. And I'm super excited and honored to be able to introduce and announce Russ DeVan. He's such a genuine guy. I mean, it's not about one's past or one's accomplishment. To have this genuine heart or this genuine heart of service, I think that Russ really brings that to the table, and he really picks out distinctions around life, around people, and that's kind of his business is people, and essentially the success and the prosperity of people. And so what Russ has created is unique in the way that we are all operating in a certain way. And for the most part, in a lot of cases, that way is in our way, right? It's not actually what's giving us the outcome that we want. And so Russ has created an organization, a program, a company called Success by Design, and an untraining format, literally an untraining, because what we've been learning and what we find value in our lives is what's defined us. It's defining us. And so sometimes that's just not working. And yet we have all this value because that's who we are. It's what we built. And now it's not working for us. So I'm super grateful to share some space with Russ DeVan, and he shared the stage with amazing forward thinkers such as Bob Proctor and Les Brown and Jim Rohn. So Jim Britt, you've had a kind of a cascade effect here, even with Russ DeVan. So guys, I really want you to give a warm Healy welcome to Russ DeVan. Here we go.
Thank you so much, Ken. I've got to do something here. I won't be able to be present. First of all, I'm going to play the empathy card here, and that to follow Brian Biro and CJ and Jim Britt is such an incredible honor. And now I know what you're thinking or maybe listening is, so what do you got? Because like I found myself being the student again, and I like to believe that I always am, but I couldn't hear enough of any of them. And they are such a profound contribution to me today. I just want to acknowledge that before I say anything. And I'm here not so much to teach you new things or have you write down stuff that I say, and you can if you want to, but I think you'll probably remember most of what I say. I'm here more to challenge the way you think about some things. And I also want to say that I'm just doing that. Those things are just my opinions, and what you're going to hear are my opinions. They're not necessarily true or so. They just happen to be a result of my experience, and I think they might be useful. So that's what I'm here to do. And my intended result is, if I even shift one thing for you that gives you a more productive experience in what you're doing, then I will be grateful to have had the opportunity and honor to do that. So that's what I have to say about that. So going forward, I have 4 questions for you to consider before I start. And these 4 questions are: what are you building? Who does it include? What does it provide? And why would somebody want to be a part of it? Now, those aren't questions that people are likely to ask you. These are questions that I want you to answer for yourself to help you understand who and what it is you're out there being and offering people. Now, I have the opinion that in not just network marketing, in life today, it's really obvious with things like the pandemic. We're surrounded by beliefs, belief systems, they're paradigms. I'm kind of tired of that word, but I'll use it. All a paradigm is a belief system. They're not right or wrong or true or false. They just are. And paradigms are created because we, again, as human beings, we don't have a natural way to discern fact from interpretation. So we learn to listen to things as if they're true. That just like, oh, that's true. Everybody thinks that. That's what a paradigm is. And the thing that's kind of insidious about paradigms, I just said they weren't good or bad. Now I'm using a word like insidious. But the thing that creates issues for us isn't the paradigm itself. It's our relationship to it. It's that they're invisible. We don't see it. It's not events and things that happen that impact us. And that's what a mentor told me and something that I happen to believe. But I want you to think about that. It's not events and circumstances, even with things that are tragic, like death. It's not those things that impact us. It's our relationship to them. So there are three things basically that I want to challenge with you today and have you think about, three areas that you deal with every day. And I want you to think about them. One, I believe that one of the places where people get stuck the most in the network marketing experience is this question that every person you put in the business will ever ask you, the question that you ask someone else when you're getting ready to do a business and have one. And it's the where do I go piece. Where do I go? So who do I talk to? What do I do? Okay. Who should I talk to? And the standard answer for that is, well, you got your warm and your cold market, right? Warm and cold market. Think about that for a moment. So the warm market presumably is people that you know, like family, friends, people you know. So if you know them, it's easier to talk to them because they're more receptive, right? Is that your experience? In 40 years, that has not been my experience. And if you've been in network marketing or around the distribution system of network marketing very long, a lot of you are in the NFL, which means no friends left. So now where do you go? The entire cottage industry of lead generation has been born around people not wanting to go to the warm market. They've either worn it out or it's like, okay. So that leaves the cold market, doesn't it? So the cold market, you mean like talking to strangers? Okay. No, thank you. Oh, well, okay, I'm willing to talk to strangers. Do you have any leads, like people that are already interested so I can talk to them and it'll be easier? So what's the belief? The belief is that it's in something we say. For the cold market, it's not in what we're doing or our relationship to somebody, it's what we say. That's how to get to the cold market. Well, how does that work? A script? Well, maybe, how about this? The holy grail in network marketing, after you figure out the prospecting thing, is what do you say to get somebody to do something? Whether it's buy a product or get interested in a business, what do you say? What if it's not in what you say? What if what you say is determined by what you hear first? So how much are we taught about how to listen? And I know the greats have been on here talking about connecting and relationships. And I hear it over and over again that this business model is about relationships. Well, okay, I can buy that. But if it's about relationships, it's the most dysfunctional family I've ever seen in my life. We do not practice relationships. We don't. We try to get good at selling. We try to get good at recruiting. We try to get good at explaining. We try to get good at knowledge. All those things have very little to do with relationships. Relationships are something that occur organically. And at one time, I think in our culture, we understood more about relationships. But I think partially technology, which has enabled us to contact more people, has disconnected us as fast as it's connected us. So this thing about relationships, yeah, it is about relationships, I say. But where the breakdown is we have forgotten to be ourselves. I know that sounds strange, but what happens is people say you need to be this, you need to be that, you need to be this way, you need to be that way, you need to be good with people, you need to be good, you need to learn this, you need to learn that. And all that gets in the way of just being us. We don't stop and think, how do I talk to this person? I mean, normally in life, when you're out and about and you see someone you know, you don't say, okay, now how do I go up and say hello to them? What exactly is it I'm gonna, what are we gonna talk about if I say hello to them? Then what if they ask me this? What am I gonna do? We don't do that. We only do that when we have an agenda. Now, don't get me wrong. Having an agenda is okay. Hiding it is what's wrong. So it's like when we try, the issue people have with talking to strangers isn't talking to strangers, is my point. We do that all the time. We do it at the grocery store. We do it standing in line at the movies. We do it at a football or a basketball game. And matter of fact, if we're cheering for the same team, we spill beer all over each other and hug and high five, and we don't even know these people, right? What is that? But it's different if we want to talk to them about a business opportunity or if about this wonderful product we found. How do we ask isn't that where we get stuck? Well, the first part starts with this warm and cold market conversation. My opinion, no such thing. Somebody made that up. We've been operating in that box for decades. Sales trainings and all kinds of scientific things have been built around studying and marketing and this and that. It's not so. There's no such thing as a warm and a cold market. Well, there might be. You can define it that way. But if you don't want to go to the cold market and you burn through your warm market, you've just eliminated the world. So I say that's not the prospecting conversation. The prospecting conversation isn't your relationship to someone, whether you know them or not. It's whether or not you can have a conversation with them. It's whether or not they're open to a conversation. It's whether or not you are interested in them. It's not in what you say. It's in remembering how to have a conversation. You say it couldn't be that simple. Well, there's other distinctions, but that's a good beginning. Let me give you another one. Network marketing. Let's pretend it's this. Let's pretend it's that. Let's try. Don't let them know it's that until you get them, where they're okay, and then you tell them. Oh, you know what? If it's network marketing, I'm not interested. Can we do it this? Can we call it that? What is that? What's going on with that? I mean, do you know network marketing wasn't even called that when I started 40 years ago? It was multi-level marketing. Then it was network marketing. Sounds so much better. Now it's called direct sales. Direct sales has been around a lot longer, so maybe people think it has more credibility if we just call it something else. Yeah, maybe. How's that working for you? How's hiding working for you? How's being proud of it working for you? Why don't you just put MLM on a jacket like alcohol, tobacco, and firearms? Wear the MLM jacket. That'll scare them away, won't it? It's like, look, you guys, network marketing. It's a system of distribution. Now, here's one that's really going to shake you up. You ready? I don't think there's such a thing as a network marketing company. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. Does Healy sell network marketing? No. Does Mary Kay Cosmetics call themselves Mary Kay Cosmetics MLM? We've been in business a long time company? No. Does Amazon call itself an online distribution network? No, they don't. Why would they? Because companies are concerned with the product they sell. Network marketing distribution is the model they use to distribute the product. But guess what? Culturally, people have it all collapsed together. Oh, that's a network marketing company. Even we do that. And do you know what happens when we do that? We kind of subtly disassociate ourselves with it like this. That's not us. We're not that network marketing thing. We're involved with them because they're really good. We're with them. We joined them. Have you heard of them? I just became involved in. How many times do we start a conversation like that and it goes south immediately because people know, oh, that's that network marketing thing. Do you see how this works and doesn't work in our favor? So let me give you another possibility, which also happens to be, in my opinion, the truth. The truth is you don't join anything. Yes, you become an independent contractor, and I know you have an agreement, but you actually have a relationship with a company as an independent contractor, and this is good news. What you've done in that relationship is you've created your own company. You've started your own company. Say it with me. I own name of company. I have the marketing rights to a breakthrough wearable technology, and I am going to build a global company, and I am in way over my head, and I need help. Number one, I need somebody that has vision. Number two, I need somebody that wants to make a ton of money. Number three, I need whatever. List it. What are you building? Who does it include? What does it provide? And why would somebody want to be a part of it? Huh? How about that? So now there's a downside to this. Here's the downside. You have to take responsibility for your own success. You can't lay it off on product aberrations. You can't lay it off on slow delivery. Somebody got my check wrong. In the real world, we deal with strategic alliances and partners, and stuff happens. It's not what happens, it's our relationship to it. If you have an expectation, see, if you're with somebody, then that's got nothing to do with you. It's not my fault the products are late. It's not my fault that something went wrong. It's them. It's them over there. But you see, when you own it, you think when a Ford dealer, Ford distributor, when Ford makes a car that has a defect in it, they say, we're not with Ford anymore. We're going with GM now. Just wanted you to know, that's not our fault. No, they're Ford dealers. They back that product. They have the right to market that product. They have that franchise name. And there's a certain amount of power that comes with that. So in this collapse of all these different belief systems, what happens is we lose ourselves. And this ties into so many things. It ties into the enrollment conversations. Jim said earlier, I think Brian said it too, people buy you. Yes, they join that institution, that operation as a result of your efforts, and there's a whole process connected to that for compensation, but they buy you. And other people will buy them. And the buck stops there. It's what are you creating? How are you presenting the value of something that enrolls people? It's not that there's this thing. And I believe that in our little hearts, I think what we do is we have this disconnection. And at the same time, we want to connect by saying we're involved in, because it's bigger than we are. No, nobody knows me. I'm just the little schmo that's selling the product. Hey, guess what? That whole company exists because of its distribution channel. Compensations are the company's way of profiting by inspiring distributors to earn money and be successful. Is the company responsible for your success? Bad news. They're not. One person is responsible for your success because only one person can define it, you. So what would it be like if prospecting wasn't an issue anymore because there was no such thing as the warm and the cold market? That prospects occur when you see them. How many of you think about that? What a prospect looks like? What's something to point out to all 2,000 of you? You're all prospects. You were all good prospects or you wouldn't be here. So what was it about you that made you a prospect in the first place? Now, this last relationship, this relationship between the company and you is really an important one, but you need to understand that you are the one that's responsible in that relationship because the company did not choose you. This is an important and powerful thing to understand, I think. You chose them. Didn't you? So when you tell somebody that you have the marketing rights to a product and they say, well, why? you can say why you chose them. I would encourage you not to go down the because it's the best, because unless you know every product of that variety in the world that ever has existed or does exist now, you're painting yourself in a corner. Here's why. The best is a relative term, the best how. But you can say, this is the most unbelievable I've ever found. And there's such an opportunity here that I can't believe that I've got this incredible thing to share. And there's so much to build and create. How long has the company been in business? They don't care. They won't ask. Is this a network marketing company that you're building? No, they don't say that. It's irrelevant. It has to do with how you're being, is what I'm telling you, not what you know, and not how much experience you've had. How about this one? How often do you think it stops people? Well, I've never really succeeded at this. I've been doing it for 10 years, and I've never had one work. So how do I be now? You be just like I'm saying to be. You be yourself, because if previous success was a criteria for success, no one would ever be successful. Success only comes from people who have failed, basically. I mean, very few people are successful right now, out of the gate, no problem. First start, rookie, yep, I'm golden. It doesn't happen that way. So this thing about you having to prove that you've already made the money and nobody does that. And you don't care. What are you creating? What are you building? Who does it include? You get to pick the people in your business. You don't have to be around anybody that doesn't like network marketing. You're the one that's trying to recruit them. It's like, how about that? What if somebody's open to the possibility of network marketing? 2,000 people on this call were. See what I mean? So the quick recap for my short bit here, which seems to pale in value to what you've heard before, is this. Check your interpretations of things. See whether it's actually so instead of just buying into it. That pertains to current events, just like it pertains to this particular business model. Be responsible for your own success. Choose wisely your alliances, both in your own organization as well as the company you choose to work with. But for our theme today, what I want to resonate with you is you are the one that's in charge of renewing. No one can renew you but you. If you take what you hear today and you apply it, you don't just write it on the notes and read it later. You apply it, you use it, you're going to have a breakthrough. Guaranteed. Now, I want to finish with a famous quote. I have it committed to memory, but I don't trust that. So I'm going to read it to you. This was written by George Bernard Shaw more than 100 years ago. This is the true joy in life, being used for a purpose recognized by yourself as a mighty one. That being a force of nature instead of a feverish, selfish little clod of ailments and grievances complaining that the world will not devote itself to making you happy. I'm of the opinion that my life belongs to the community. And as long as I live, it's my privilege to do for it whatever I can. I want to be thoroughly used up when I die. For the harder I work, the more I live. I rejoice in life for its own sake. It's not a brief candle to me. It's more like a splendid torch, which I have hold of for the moment. And I want to make it burn as brightly as possible before handing it on to future generations. God bless you. Thank you very much for this privilege.
Awesome. Very great. Thank you. Thank you. Russ DeVan, everybody. And Russ, how can people find you? Is it russdevan.com or?
I own that one, but no, they'd probably find me by going to successbydesign.us.
Successbydesign.us. We'll try to put some of these into this Telegram group after the call or maybe tomorrow. The guy that you can thank for this big, huge giveaway from the company is our next speaker, our CSO, Chief Sales Officer, Frank Dyla. Frank is so out there and engaging with the field. He takes arrows just like me in some of the groups and handles it with grace and style, kindness and respect. I love this guy. He's up all hours of the night. When I send him messages on WhatsApp, he answers almost immediately. He must keep it by his bed. And, you know, through the last 3 months, I can see lots of reasons not to be either Frank or me. But I bet he would say neither one of us would change it, because it's been such an amazing experiences. And I'll say for myself, you guys are my reason. And I'm really grateful. But Frank is the guy who approved the giveaway. So put in some love when that chat opens up. And Frank, what do you have to say today? And I'm so grateful that you made it all the way from Germany to be on the call with us.
Well, thank you, Rick. Thank you, everyone. I didn't make it all the way from Germany because traveling is a little bit difficult right now. So thank God to Zoom and everything. Well, you know, guys, I have to say, I don't know, I'm absolutely stunned by the leadership we have in the US. I think there is no comparison to what we have as leadership in the US to other markets in the world. And, you know, you have done this all by yourself, you know, since we were in lockdown and we were opening the US. Everything you have done is completely on your own. And for me, not only the work you have done and the dedication you have for Healy as a product, and the leadership you showed every day through up and down and through challenges and problems just amazes me. So I can only really thank you at this point for everything you have done so far. And I promise, as soon as there are flights available and we can get on those flights, I promise we will be in the States and you will have at one point enough seeing of us. But I promise there is still an outstanding roadshow we are going to do through the whole US with all of you together. And I want to actually before I continue, actually, because what Russ said is kind of I have a similar story. One day I was in a plane flying to Verona in Italy for one of our meetings. And in the plane with me was the president and their biggest leader from Healy. And because we were in the bus to the plane and we were standing next to each other, and at one point we started to talk, and because I knew who they were, but they didn't know who I was. So we were starting to talk and said, well, what are you doing? And we were starting to talk, and instead of saying, well, we are working for Healy or we're working for network marketing called Healy or anything, they were giving me the whole story. We are working for a company that produces a Nobel Prize winning, I don't know what. And then they were asking me, and I said, okay, I play this game too. And I said, well, we are a producer for medical device, for frequency device. We have a medical class 2 device registration and blah, blah, blah. And at the end of the day, I said, and you're working for Healy, right? And they were looking at me with eyes like this. And I said, yeah, well, I'm working for Healy and we're a network marketing company too. So it's kind of funny how everybody is dealing with this issue of MLM or what company you were working for and how they're explaining what they're doing. So it was kind of a funny situation. Well, I want to refer to another speaker. I want to refer to Chrisjan Peters here at this moment, because Chrisjan was talking about how we have some basic needs, and a basic need, one of them is also recognitions. And if you think about it, to recognize somebody for something he did himself is actually such an easy thing. But we're not doing it really quite regularly or quite often, because in the daily life, it sometimes just gets lost somehow to say, thank you, you did a great job, or whatever it is. And as we couldn't travel and we couldn't do it live, and I actually at least want to mention on this call with like 2,000 people, some people who have achieved some outstanding things, and I want to recognize them here again for what they have done. And these are our Healy World directors for the United States. We have achieved in such great and short time since the US is open since May 1st. And The first one I want to recognize is on the call with us today, and she's looking at me from the camera. And I want to say congratulations and thank you very much for your love, for your dedication, for everything you do every day for Healy, our Healy World Director, Terry Perez. Congratulations to Terry. Thank you. What you do every day, and that you stay positive every day, and that you lead your team as a great role model. Who I don't see on the call, but it's like 2,000 people, and I hope he's here, and I hope he can hear this, is also our Healy World Director from the US, also well-deserved. One of the first directors we had in the US is Healy World Director Peter Speech. So congratulations to you, Peter, for your achievement, for your success. It's only my job to say thank you to you because you did everything by yourself, and it's your success you have achieved. Then also here on the call, and I can look in his eyes as well, for all of you, he's a great source of knowledge in a lot of cases. He is, as we heard, personally sponsored by Chrisjan Peters, and they're working very, very closely with each other. And I know he has a great reputation between all of you. So congratulations also to you, our Healy World Director, Dr. Stephen Small. Congratulations, Doc Steve, and thank you for everything you do every day, and for your, you're a source of knowledge, and we really appreciate that. And last but not least, the last director was the first actually to achieve the Healy World Director title in the first months of opening the US. And she's also a great leader. She's full of great ideas and great leadership. So congratulations to our Healy World Director, Sarah Rodriguez. Congratulations, Sarah. Thank you for everything you do, and thank you that you burn for Healy like we all do. But that's not enough, because one of the speakers today has actually, even that the month is not over yet, the month of August is still running, but I have checked the numbers a little bit because I knew he's on the call today. And I didn't want to miss the opportunity to be the first one to congratulate him to his new title. Please congratulate our new Vice President, Mr. Chrisjan Peters. And I think he's muted because there's no reaction from Chrisjan, as I can see on the Zoom camera, or he's frozen, or I don't know, there's nothing moving. So I hope he heard at least
I am here. So thank you, Frank. Thank you. But yeah, awesome. But like everybody knows on this call, it's I'm getting the title, and I'm so appreciative for that. I could not reach it by far if it wasn't not for the US team led by Doc Steve and other leaders, great leaders in the team. So I absolutely have to give that title back and share it with all the people in the United States. You guys are rocking. And remind you, this is only the beginning. 3 months in this business, guys, this is only the beginning. But thank you.
Thank you, Chrisjan. And I know we will see many more titles coming from the US very soon. So even if the month is not over for you, Chrisjan, I wanted to take the opportunity. And of course, usually our director titles and above, we honor on our conferences we hold from Healy World. Unfortunately, our conference in October, which was planned for this October in Munich, had to be, couldn't be live due to the COVID situation, due to the travel restrictions and whatnot. So, but of course, we want to take the opportunity and do an online conference so that you get the latest news and what we have in store for you. And I can tell you the online conference will be from October 23 to 25. So this will mean on every day we will do a local Zoom conference for Europe, for the US, for Asia, so that we fit into your time zone, so that you don't have to get up in the middle of the night at 3 o'clock to watch the conference. So we are going to do that for you so that you get it in a time frame which is working for you. And of course, we will do some recognitions there again, but I'm really looking forward to the conference because we will introduce some new products for you, of course. We will also introduce some new tools, and because a lot of the speakers today were talking about this, we will come out with a great tool for prospecting for you, which I'm really looking forward to have in the future. And also, maybe I can announce this already. Britt was so kind to be part of our conference as a speaker. So we will hear on our conference from Britt, and I know a lot of people are looking forward to. Unfortunately, we are very limited in a Zoom conference. More than 2.5 hours is barely doable for the people on the screens at home, but it's always, we have so much content, but we try to keep it short and sweet. But we will actually do a great effort. It's for us, it's like we are organizing a normal live conference. We will have a studio. We will have the participants at home be part of the conference. We will do presentations. We will have entertainment. So it will be really for us organizing a conference. Unfortunately, this time we cannot see each other in live. So we will announce this a little bit later with the plan for each country and each time zones where we will be. But I want to talk quickly about the next live conference and I hope COVID will not prevent us doing this as well, because we are planning to do our next worldwide conference for Healy World on March 19th to 21st, 2021. So we're hoping, crossing our fingers, that we will be able to do this in this time again, and therefore we want to get together for a weekend and celebrate our Healy World members with, I can tell you already, some mind-blowing, completely new products coming out. You cannot even imagine yet what we will have in store for you. And therefore, we have a qualification period already starting next month. From September to November, you will get all the information on Monday by newsletter, the flyers, the videos, everything you need for the qualification period. But let me ask you one thing, because we have a 3 months qualification period from September to including November. Do you think it is possible for our members in those 3 months to sell, let's say, 3 resonances and 1 gold? Is this doable in 3 months? This would already qualify for you for the ticket and the hotel for the whole conference. Let me ask you another thing. Do you think a member can sell 3 resonances every month in those 3 months? So 9 in total. It's possible? Then you would qualify for a full weekend, including ticket, hotel, and airfare. So what I want to tell you here is we try to keep the qualifications for you to participate in the conference in Munich as low as possible. I know it will cost us probably a fortune flying you all over with 9 qualifying resonances, but we wanted to do this as a thank you to you as well. We know we had a rough start in the US. I know the conference will cost us probably a fortune, but we wanted to give as many as possible the possibility to be part of this and to really experience Healy World live, because you in the US, you had so many disadvantages. We couldn't travel, we couldn't be there. You had a launch on your own. So we want to give you the possibility to all come to Munich and then really celebrate Healy World here in Munich with us together on our worldwide conference in March 2021. So I'm really looking forward. And don't worry, even if we have to postpone the conference another half a year to the fall, don't worry if COVID is not somehow resolved by then, you will not lose your qualification. We are just moving the conference to a later stage and you will keep your qualifications. So don't worry about that. So I really don't have so many news because I think we're really also a little bit late, but I want to give you another thing. We're working on so many issues right now in the background to solve so many things for you. And I just want to give a great thank you to our customer service. I know you have waited a long time for replies for your tickets. We have stocked up our customer service in the last few weeks, up to 55 customer service agents who are handling our tickets around the world. The US has done an amazing job in the customer service, and we are continuing to stock up the customer service. You know, for a company our size, a customer service this size is not very common. But what we're doing parallel, and this is, we're trying to delete the fires. We need more customer agents to reply faster. What we do in the background is we're making in-depth analysis on every ticket, on every issue, to find out what the main issues are and trying to solve each and single one of the issues so that we don't have those vast amount of tickets. So this is going on. We are solving step by step, and one thing we are already solved, which will be implemented in the next 2-3 weeks, is our master key issue. Master key with resonance is a pain in the A for everyone around the world, for our members as much as for us. So we came up with a different solution so that the master key is much more easier. And this is what we're doing with everything. We're improving the quality of our cables. We're improving the quality of the product, of the applications, of the languages, of the materials. I cannot even tell you how much is going on in the background right now. And even we're developing, because all the armband electrodes, for example, these are all armband electrodes we buy from suppliers. We are right now developing our own armband electrodes in a rubber material, which are comfortable to wear, which look good, which have all the necessary things we require. So this will take a little bit more, but then we have our own armband electrodes which are exactly made for us, how we need them, how we want them. So there is really a lot going on, and I don't want to bore you with all the things we're working on. But at the end of the day, and I hope you already feel this a little bit, because I see also in other markets that they realize and see certain things slowly changing, things are improving. And I hope you see this in the US too. We're getting to the end of our delivery problems. We are producing 1,000 Healys every single day now. And probably by end of September, we will have a stock of over 100,000 Healys in the warehouse. We are improving our delivery chains. We are improving the logistics, how we transport things. But I think the most important thing we're going to do is that we're enabling every hub we have, with Rick in the US, with Singapore, with our hub in the Ukraine, in Russia, in India, all the hubs we have around the world. We will increase in staff, in responsibility, in the way they can do business, because we from Germany as the headquarter cannot guide every single markets of the 55 we deliver to right now. So we have to enable our management and our team members in every hub to do the business in a local way, because as you said, Rick, we are writing great newsletters, and in the US, everybody shakes their head and say, what the are you talking about? This is not how we talk. And, you know, we have the problem in India, in Australia, in Japan, in the US. So we need a person in the market, and I'm very grateful for Rick that he hired a great person for that, to reflect the color of a market, the lingo of a market, the behavior, whatever people are thinking and feeling. And this we will do with all other departments as well. So we will enable every market to be sustainable from us. There will be guidelines from corporate, of course, but you will get much more power and much more responsibility. So therefore, I really can only thank you for the time and for the invitation of being here today. I can only repeat, I'm really looking forward to be on the first plane to the US again and really meet all our great leaders. I haven't really had the chance to meet in person, which is by nature already a shame, because if you open a market, the leaders is what you get to know first and work with first. So thank you for making really the US such a great success with the little support you had. You did this everything on your own. It's all up to you, to your team members, and I really appreciate everything what you're doing. And maybe, and I'm probably not allowed from a compliance standpoint to say this, so I say it a little bit vaguely. By the end of the day, we're hitting 8 digits of revenue this month. So you can calculate yourself what 8 digits are. I'm not saying the exact number, so I have not said anything wrong, I hope. So congratulations to everything you did. And I hope you all stay safe and well. And thank you back to Rick. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Frank. Awesome job. Great announcement. First, as we close out, and I'm going to try to unmute at the end, so don't go anywhere. The pink is around the stitches. We're seeing pink on the stitches. If you came in late, that's a metaphor for experience I had where I cut my finger off and it looked like I was going to lose it. Pretty soon I was seeing pink around the stitches. Let's focus on where we're headed. Today, the idea here was to recharge, renew, and realign. That means to take our focus off what we just went through and what are we going to create. Somebody on the call today said the only reason to look backwards is to see where you are, but then move forward again. It's a great line right there. So many great lines. And so I want to say thank you, Brian, CJ, Jim, Russ. Thank you. We owe you so much today. You have given so much of yourselves. We're so grateful for you. And thank you for what you just did here today. You guys, go find them online. They're all over the place, and see what you can glean, so what more information you can glean. I want to say also thank you to the mastermind group, Ken, Doc, Steve, and Terry. I'm so grateful you guys. You should be on payroll for the work you do. And I'm so grateful and full of love and respect for you, for the help you've given me along the way here. Great work. Frank, thank you for approving the giveaway. That's awesome. And we're so grateful to you. Thank you for those amazing announcements, and thank you for being there for me as a resource. Frank and I don't always agree, but he gets the final say, and then I support him even if I didn't agree with it, and it always works out. So he's a great leader that way, gracious in receiving input, but a decision maker in this company, and that's super important. Okay, so that said, I hope you enjoyed our first virtual Super Saturday. We went over, I think it was 2,010 people we got up to. We'll put the recording on the Telegram group soon. Be sure that you're in that, find it, and we usually post it. I'll try to post it before we quit here. If somebody else can, put it in the chat. That'd be great. And so let's see what happens when I click unmute all. On the way out, just say thank you to the guys. And thank you to the mastermind team. Thank you, Frank. Thank you, everyone. And so here we go. I'm going to unmute everybody, and I want to say thank you. And guys, look over at the chat. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. We love you,
And
Frank.
boom.
We love you, Russ. It's so good to see you again. I love you, Brian. Love you, everybody.
Okay, so that only unmuted. Did that unmute everybody? No.
Nope.
Okay, it just unmuted the participants. So grateful for the
We
people
love
that came
you.
today. Yes,
So
you are the reason
grateful.
that we do what we do. And thank you for
Love
being
you,
here.
Rick.
So, yeah,
Thank you,
love you
Rick,
too.
for everything.
everybody.
Got it.
Appreciate
Rick,
it.
thank you,
Steve,
everybody.
Thank you,
for being
Kim.
here.
Thank you, everybody.
My
Hey,
pleasure.
Lisa. Hey, Jim.
Bye.
CJ.
Bye.
Can't wait till we
Okay.
can do this in one
I
place.
know. I can't
Yeah.
wait. I'm so
Okay.
excited. I'll give
Soon.
Frank. I'll give
First
everybody a big hug.
intention when we learn how.
Keep
Yay.
putting your comments in. We'll leave it up for a little bit here.
All right.
And
Bye-bye.
lots of people commenting. Just look over there, and I want you to see it. It'll be on the recording as well, so you can refer back to that. So okay, gonna shut her down. So
Bye, everybody.
pausing the recording.
Birthday weekend in Munich. Yeah.